global importance, whether it be climate change, human health, technology, or a variety of other issues. Some of that happens with research that our faculty do in collaboration with partner universities, and some of it is like conversations we're having tonight. Again, we're really honored to have one of our very successful alums, Victor I, join us tonight. And I'll go ahead and give just a short background on Victor before we go ahead and kick off. And then I'll have Victor tell you a little bit about his own story. Victor I is an alum of Washington University in St. Louis, graduating in the Master's of Science program, Master's of Science in Finance. He also holds an executive MBA from Cheung Kong Graduate School of Business and a bachelor's degree in economics from Simon Fraser University in Vancouver, British Columbia. He is currently the founder and CEO of Terminus, which is a leading AI and smart service provider. Victor has been recognized in many ways for being a forward thinker, as an entrepreneur, and as an advocate of future technology. So let me share just a few of those awards that Victor has received and a few of those recognitions. He is awarded by Fortune magazine as within the top 40 Chinese business elites in 2019. The top 20 Chinese digital transformation pioneers by the Harvard Business Review. In the investment industry, he has also earned a spot in the top 100 venture capitalists by Forbes magazine and top 5 PE investors by China Renaissance. We're going to go ahead and post his full bio in the chat so that you can read about it, but obviously he has been very successful. Victor, you have had an extraordinary career, made us very proud to have you as a Washington University alum. And I know we've gotten to talk a few times. We've tried to meet multiple times in the last year. Got shut down by COVID all those times, but I'm looking really forward to being able to talk with you tonight to be able to share your story.
Great, thank you, thank you. Yeah, hopefully things will become better soon for everyone.
We all certainly hope so. Well, let me just go ahead. I'm gonna jump into questions just a minute, but just to give the audience a preview of where we're going. Victor and I are going to go ahead and have a discussion for about the next 30 minutes here about some of the work he's done at Terminus, a little bit about his career. I'm really interested in hearing some of the latest strategy discussions he's had at Terminus and how AI is going to change cities of the future. And then we are going to bring in some of our McDonnell scholars who also have some questions. My experience is things always work better when students get to meet our alums like Victor and have that conversation. So we're going to go ahead and join some of those in later. So right now it's just you and me on the screen, Victor, and we'll bring our scholars in about 8:30 St. Louis time. I think that's probably 9:30 your time. But let's go ahead and kick off. So you graduated in 2007 from WashU, I believe, and now are CEO of Terminus. Can you bring us up to date on what happened between those times and some of the work that you're doing at Terminus now?
Yes. Thank you, Kurt. First of all, I'm very honored to be here, to talk to our alumni and students in WashU. It's like feel like going back to home. So I'm very happy. I think we're still working hard as a startup company. But some of my background experiences I want to share with students there. I think talking about my career path during the past years, I think the dream starts in WashU, of course. I think my career can be break into 3 parts. First stage working as an investment banker. That's what we were trained for from the Master of Science in Finance program. Then work in a private equity role, and then finally in a startup world. So I graduated from MSF and went to work in New York, in Wall Street, in JP Morgan as an investment banker, working on leverage buyout, crunching numbers, doing models at that time. Then quickly moved back to work in Hong Kong, also in JP Morgan. Then got an offer from Lehman Brothers as a private equity investor. I saw it was one of the very good jobs at that time. I finally become a buy-side investors. Then for what happens in 2008, and everyone knows, so Lehman Brothers, has some issues then. So we were acquired by a Chinese company called China Everbright. So we started to build a startup private equity platform in China with China Everbright together. So in the past 10 years, we were making investments in real estate projects and also in new economy investments, such as internet, technology, consumer, the investment. With over 200 projects, we're managing over 15 billion US dollar AUM. That's my second part of my work. About 5 years ago, I had a strong feeling of doing a startup company. I see there are a lot of opportunities in the technology world, such as AI and IoT, and there are a lot of problems we need to solve for the city. So that's why I founded a company called Terminus in 2015. Terminus Group is a leading smart service provider focused on shaping the next generation of technology with we call AIoT, artificial intelligence and IoT. And over the years, Terminus has managed to be the top startup company in China. And also this year, as Kurt knows, I was in Dubai for half a year. Terminus has been officially announced by Expo 2020 Dubai as a official premier partner of Expo. So we are working with Cisco, Siemens, Accenture, and SAP to provide all the digital solutions to World Expo, and helping to build Dubai as a next generation future city there. So it's been a big step for Terminus. Not only become one of the largest AI company in China, but also go into the world globally. And so I think Terminus has also received a lot of awards and received, get recognized by the top investors in China, globally. We have investors as Everbright, Citigroup, IDG Capital, JD.com, InvestCorp, Accenture. I think the latest valuation for Terminus is about $3 billion US. Yeah, that's pretty much what we have been doing. We're still a young company. We have about 800 people. 60% of them are R&D people doing research and doing models, and we have offices in all the different cities in China, and also in LA and in Dubai. So I think that we're working on some cool projects recently.
Well, I know there's actually quite a number of students from the MSF program, I think, who are watching tonight. And so we'll talk a little bit more about some advice you have for them. How do they become the next Victor High? I think they're probably thinking in their heads, because that's quite a story. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the strategy. I read about your press conference in Beijing, where you talked about your new future city strategy, the AI city. Would you talk a little bit about what that means, what that looks like, and what your vision is for an AI city?
Yeah, I'm very excited to share that. We just launched our latest project, one of the first AI city in the world. We're working with BIG Group, the top-notch architecture in the world from Denmark. And I think Björk, the founder of BIG Group, they have built 9 Google headquarters in the world. So and also they are working with Toyota Woven City. They are all future city models. So when we had this idea of building a AI city together, they are very excited. So after about more than 10 months working together, I think we just launched our project. Maybe I can give us a little view of our phase 1 project so that they can know what we're talking about.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
Very, very impressive.
It's so basically it's a short view of our project in the city of Chongqing in China, as one of the first AI city project we're working on. Later on, I can tell everyone a little bit more about what we are building there in the city. But before that, I want to spend a very few minutes to share to the audiences what we are doing as and why we are doing AI city. So let me start with some of the technology background. Because we were investing a lot of different projects in the past 10 years. We have summarized what we see the trend of the technology revolution in the world. So we classified the different stages in the history we recently, from the internet, we call it from internet to intelligence, because for the past 20 years, everything is dominated by the internet companies, and now the world is moving to the AI, to the intelligence world. I think everything happened because of the reason. We found all the change and the transform of the businesses because of the infrastructure change. So if you look at in the 3G network time, we have most of the the famous internet companies coming from this time, like Amazon, Cisco, Google, and Microsoft. In China, we have Alibaba and Tencent, which obviously the giant internet companies in China. Then as a 4G network comes, we have a much better network. We have a lot of new applications, especially the smartphone, and we have the all the different apps like TikTok, short videos, live streams. So that's why during this time we can see Netflix, TikTok, Twitter. Everything is based on the mobile internet. So I think since 2018, I think the world is talking about 5G or even 6G. With this infrastructure, the world moves into the intelligence time, or we call the AI economy time. So we're in this part, we can see a lot of companies focus on AI, IoT, autonomous driving, VR, AR. So that's a new, totally new business model, based on this infrastructure and technology. So this is to show everyone that what we are doing now, why we are doing now is, I think one of the biggest reason is because of the infrastructure change in the back. So when we see AI city from the terminus viewpoint of view, we actually break it into 4 stages. Starting from 5 years ago, we were working on AI city 1.0 and 2.0, which is in 1.0 we are providing a lot of the smart services, smart hardwares. Those hardware and services devices can provide like a smart home, some of the experiences of the smart city. Then in the 2.0 stage, we are providing a lot of solutions. So which means it not only with hardware, we have platform software and hardware together to solve some particular problem, like environmental problem, like the fire protection problem, those kind of things. That's what we have been doing. Then now and going forward, I think we're working on the AICT 3.0 and 4.0, which is building a whole city as a AI city, as a big product. So you can imagine now we are building not a smartphone, not a smart car. We are building a smart city as a whole, a big smartphone. So that's the the video we just saw is the first smart city AI city we're building in China. And over in the next few years, we're expecting to build a AI city network over the world, where all the AI cities will share similar standards, and they can transform all of the like the data, and they can get connected with all the online apps and services. So like the one we are working in Dubai, will be connected as part of the networks as well. So that's our vision for the next 10 years. Right now, for the past 5 years, terminals have completed over 9,000 projects all over the world, and we are providing services as cloud devices and edge computing products, and we have over almost 1,000 patents all over the world. Has been ranked as a top IoT and AI company by Gartner 6 times, in the past. To make it short, Terminus AI City. What is Terminus AI City? It's a combination of hardware, software, and the ecosystem. So the hardware is talking about the urban infrastructure, and we have our OS, kind of like Android OS for the system, for the city operating system, and then above that we have all the applications. This page, maybe people can have it make it more clear. So if you look at the city, we call it different scenarios or different contexts, right? We have the energy management in the city, we have the fire prevention, architecture, robotics, underground logistics, or parking, security, etc. So everything in the city before it was isolated from each other. All the systems are isolated. It's not an integrated systems. That's why we have a lot of problems, such as the transportation problems, right? When you go to one place to another place, sometimes you cannot get connected. So in Terminus AI City, we are trying to put everything, connect all the dots together, all the smart scenario together. Using our AI and IoT technology, we want to first of all digitalize all the scenarios, because in the physical world, it's not generating data in the past. But now with the IoT, with all the sensors, with all the technology, we can generate data every second. Then we upgrade, upload all the data in the network. We call it networked data. Then I think then the third level is to in the network, in the cloud, it has to be smart. right? We are doing algorithm and calculating every moment. And then I think the last part is autonomous decision making. The machine will send back the decision making to the physical world through our IoT control, so that make it a loop of of the autonomous control. So that's how we are trying to do with AI city. That will solve a lot of the problems. If you look at more specifically, if you compare AI city with a smart car, maybe with Tesla. As I said, if we are comparing hardware, software, and ecosystem, the three main parts of Terminus AI city. In the hardware, it has to be, first of all, it has to be very beautiful, good looking, futuristic. So on the left, you can see this is a picture of the of our AI city. It's just like the Tesla when it first launched, with the best designers, futuristic looking. Then in our AI city, it's one of the very important things we have. It's a robotic, robot-friendly park, okay, environment. So everywhere can be accessed by the robots. Because we believe in the future, the robotics will become the major force for the world. So all the infrastructures we are building, we have to be able to adapt to them. So we have sensors everywhere, we have the chargers everywhere, and robotics can go to any place and perform all the things. As human beings, everything will be online in the future, so that we don't have to work. Everyone just enjoy your life, right? Let them to serve you. So this infrastructure is very different. Then from the software part, which is the most important, again, we compare to Tesla. One of the big difference with smart car as a normal regular car is the smart car have a centralized control system, right? Which the ECU, they call the CCM. So all the like a power, audio, everything is controlled by one system, and also it's so that's why when a Tesla is moving on the street, it's sending data and collecting data all the time, and it can be upgraded remotely. So which is called over-the-air OTA. So this concept has been implemented in our AI city. So our whole AI city is connected by one platform we call TACOS, Terminus AI City Operating System. We are connecting all the different subsystems together, and it's connected to the internet. So it's similar to the car. If we found some problem, we found something we want to upgrade, we can just upgrade it over the air. Overnight. Tomorrow the city will be different, which means the city is growing. It's in the evolution. Every day will be a different. After 10 years, it will be a totally different city as 10 years ago. So this concept is very it's very important, and also it's a data-driven city. So all the management of the city will be driven by the data. I think the third one is we call it personalized recommendation, which means everyone goes into the city will recognize you and give you different fields, different services. If you go to go to a coffee shop or somewhere, when you get into here, people will know, oh, it's Kurt coming here, so they will provide a double shot latte every morning for you. Right. Something like that. Playing the music you like when you go in. So that's it's just like what we can enjoy from the smart car and the smartphone. So that's how we build the software. The last part I want to talk about is ecosystem to give you an understanding. So the city itself, not only is a hardware there, but also it will is very similar to a smartphone. If you look at what's happening with the iPhone, you have 23 million developers on the iPhone, on the application side, in the App Store. That's how you build up the ecosystem to give people a better feedback and enjoy the use of the iPhone. Think if an iPhone is without all the app or without any network, the phone is not so interesting, right? So the same here in our AI city, we have the very similar layout of layers of the operating system as iPhone. So as our city, we have all the vertical providers of for example, like robotic services, and the online payments, autonomous driving, all the different companies, they will join us as a as an ecosystem to provide apps on the city level, so that our city is not only just a city, it will also have the all the vertical applications and you can use. So that's how everything is connected. So here it's the phase one of our AI city in China. It has a 1.2 million square meters GFA. It's a very large project. In this park, you can see over 20 over 30 different smart scenarios, we call it, like, or the apps there. It will be and also one of the very important, it will be 90% digitalized. Everything will be generating data. It's very, very interesting thing. So not only in China, we are working with, as I mentioned earlier, we're working with Dubai Expo. Dubai Expo is one of the most advanced future city in the world. Everyone knows Dubai people, they like to build luxury, expensive things and future things, such like Khalifa Tower, right? In the past. So for the Expo is to showcase the future. It's very interesting. We will be opening in October 1st, 2021, and there will be over 200 countries and over showing their countries elements there, and there will be over 20 million people visiting there. And after that, we'll be becoming a future city, and their vision is to build it as a most advanced technology city. So we are as a premium partner of Dubai Expo, we are working with them to build this place, one of the world's leading smart city. Yeah, so yeah, that's basically a little bit of background of what we are doing here.
I have to say that is quite an impressive vision, and just to think about how you and your team developed that, is hard to imagine. To be able to see into the future, I frankly have to say is really impressive, and it's really, I guess, an interesting view into perhaps a crystal ball. Let's spend a few minutes talking about how you got there. What was it that when you left Olin that allowed you to make those different jumps and transitions, and eventually jump into working on and creating a city like this? So I have a few questions, and so let me go to this one about career and how you got there. So let's go back to again where we love to say you started here at Olin at Washington University. What did WashU or your education at the business school, how did it help you start you on this journey? And for those students who are currently going through the program, do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, I think it's going to WashU is the right decision for you, and I think it's a great program. Well, because I joined Olin for the MSF program back in 2006. I think that time we were one of the first programs. So everything's new for us. Obviously, I think the faculty had put a lot of effort to make this work. I remember at that time we have Mr. Gary Hochberg and Todd Melvin and Snow, and those are the smartest people I've ever met, and they will work together to help build this together. So I kind of feel like all of my experiences in the past is all joining the startup companies or startup programs. So anyway, so I think what you give me a lot of change my career, and also I changed my life. What I learned how to think critically, and also what you give me, I think obviously the best training you can ever find in the world. And needless to say, I think the alumni system in WashU is also a very strong network. I got my first job in JP Morgan through the alumni system. As an international student, at that time especially, I was the only Chinese student got in my department in JP Morgan. We have 300 people in nationwide, and I was only Chinese there as a foreigner, so they always make fun of me at that time. But everything happens because of what you give me all the best trainings, and I think we have a very solid training on the background, especially the quantitative skills. I think that's the reason why people, when they pick you, they will choose the quality. And also I remember at that time what's that called, Western Career Center. I don't know if they still have that.
Still there?
So, yeah. So I made a full use of Western Career Center, so to train how to do an interview and to do all the things. And they give me a lot of help. So I deeply feel really grateful for what's offered by WashU. So.
Well, we're going to bring our scholars on in just a minute for questions, but you know who is who's watching tonight is Gary Hochberg, and
oh, really?
Yeah, so he's on, and I asked him if he remembered you. He said, "Of course I did," and he said that he has been successful. I'm just going to read here Gary's message to me. That he has been successful comes as no surprise. He is very motivated and engaging. I admitted him to the program, so of course he owes everything to me. So there's your message from Gary. He did have a question for you, which I'm gonna come back to in the. Actually, I'll go to that question. Then we're gonna bring our scholars on for some questions. Gary's question was, how did you end up getting into artificial intelligence in your career, coming from JP Morgan, a finance training, and tonight you are telling us about this future technology world. How did you make that transition?
I think it's curiosity. I think generally I'm very curious about new things. So when I was in WashU at that time, my interest was to become an investment banker, because at that time they told me that's the highest paying job there as a graduate student. But I think I learned a lot of techniques at that time. I think it's very important for as a startup student in your career. Then one of the reasons why I moved to the private equity is because I think when you are making investments, shifting from a sales side to buy side is a very different experience. Because in sales side, all you think about is how to make sales, right? So making sales, getting the advisor fees, and that's how investment banking brokers down. So all we are doing is working on the PPT prospectors and make sure that all the colors are aligned and all the numbers right and looks good. And after we made the sale, then we don't need to worry too much, right? After IPO, we collect the money, we celebrate and go to different vacation place. But then when you're doing a private equity, you have to think longer time, right? And then you have to think about what's happening in your investment 3 years later, 5 years later, even longer, sometimes 10 years later. So that's where you You need to, really look deep into the industry and understand what's happening. And, that's why I found very interesting, because I want to spend my time on more valuable things, right? To think through things, not only just making good PPTs. So that's why I changed to do the private equity. Doing terminals, I think it's also, again, it's out of the curiosity, because we have, as I said, explained in the earlier, we have made investment in internet companies, in mobile internet companies, and also some of the technology companies. So when I look at this, I say, what's happening in the next 10 years? What's your, what am I gonna be doing? And what's the vision? What's changing the world? I just feel, a few years ago, I feel I should do something where I can be participating as one of the people who is changing the world, not help other people change the world as an investor. So, and also we are doing the AI, and as I said, the AI time is a totally new age, right? It's very difficult for me to find a good company to invest. I found they are all not doing perfect as I thought. So I said, maybe I should do it by myself. So that's why I started to run the company, found the company by myself. We start with $10 million valuation. I remember now 5 years later, we're a $3 billion company. I think the valuation is not so important, but it's a reflection of how you committed to something and work hard to something. Then you can, it makes sense. You make a long-term value. So I think this is something I can do for another 20 years, and to just make the city better, make it more efficient, change the pollution problem, transportation problem. We are solving problems every day. So I think that's how naturally I get here.
I think that's a great way to think about the career, on how it evolves to different pieces on how you can contribute to making a difference and kind of where you're at now. So I think that notion of creativity, as well as thinking about, what can you do, how you can do it, is, I think, a great lesson for all of us. Okay, I'm going to bring in some of our students, and if you guys want to go ahead and turn on, or if our team can turn them on, and I'm going to tell people a little bit about the program while everyone's getting turned on here. If you were here with us, Victor, we'd be in person. We'd have a session where you could meet and talk with them. And so we're going to try to do this virtually if this works. Let me tell everyone a little bit about the McDonnell Scholars Program, why they're getting in. These are a group of graduate students who really not only want to develop expertise in their field, so they're all in the graduate program of their kind of area of expertise, but they also want to be part of the international community of scholars. They want to have a global perspective. They want to be think about how to continue to push their leadership skills forward. We have about 85 in the program now. A very competitive program to get in, but we have about 85 who are currently in the program, and they're from all over all across campus. So people from business, engineering, social work, law, cancer biology, literature, psychology. It's a wide range. It creates a fascinating discussion there, as well as all around the world. And we have tonight with us a small set of them who are just some of our business engineering students, since I thought your career was a fit for that. We'll go ahead and do just a super quick introduction, then have them ask you a few questions to kick in so you can meet them. So we'll go ahead and just go around, and if you could just tell us your name, what program you're in, and where you are from originally. And I'll just go ahead to make it easy and call out. And I'm just going to go as I see you on my screen. So Andrea, go ahead.
Of course. Hi, Victor. My name is André Luiz. I'm from Brazil originally. I studied at the State University of Campinas, and right now I'm gonna study in St. Louis in the PhD at Systems Engineering.
Thank you. Messi?
Hi, my name is Messi Lee. I'm from South Korea originally, and I study PhD in computational and data sciences.
Thank you. Gil?
Victor, nice to meet you. I'm Gil, full-time MBA over here and scholar. course, and I'm representing IDC Herzliya back in Israel, and I'm also a product manager in a visual AI platform for retailers.
Charlie.
Hi, very glad to meet you. My name is Charlie. I'm doing my PhD in online business school, and I'm originally from South Korea too.
Aurora.
Hi, Victor. Nice to meet you. I'm Aurora Chen. I originally come from China. I'm currently doing my Master of Public Health as well as my program.
Cheng.
Hi, Victor. Nice to meet you. My name is Changqing Wang. I'm also from China. I'm now doing my PhD in electrical engineering.
And Raphael.
My name is Raphael Kujo. I'm from the University of Ghana, a second year all-in full-time MBA candidate.
All right, thanks guys. We're going to go ahead and just go through a few questions while we have time. And they had submitted some of these ahead, so I'm just going to ask you to go through. Andre Luis, will you talk about I thought I had a really interesting question for Victor.
All right. So Victor, it is one thing to develop devices using AI to solve specific problems, either in the domestic or the industrial fields. However, it is another completely different thing to propose and conceive the management of an entire city using AI-related technologies. My question is, as a leader, when is the moment in which you realize that your company is ready to face a challenge like this one, and when do you decide to make to take the initiative?
Yes. So I think it's an ongoing program. So I think the challenges and the problem we are facing in as a city management, it's a huge thing, right? So all the different aspects. I think with all the technology, we can only make progress and improvements, one by one. But I think the direction is right. I think I don't know, in other places, but back in China, we have 1.4 billion people populations, and think about the pollutions, think about the energy consumptions, all the issues and transportations, and everyone is buying a car. So all the problems in the city is making more and more difficult to manage. So when we have this vision of building a future city, we know some of the current technology cannot achieve there. It will be different generations to be there in 10 years. But that's why when we set up, as I said earlier, we set up the structure of the AI city. We set it as a kind of like an iPhone, like a smartphone, where you can do the iOS upgrade, every time, the over-the-air OTA, right? So we can keep upgrading our software, keep upgrading our solutions to make it better and better. So after 10 years, maybe just like an iPhone 12, we can have AI City 12. So at that time, it will be different.
Let's take our next question from Changqing. I thought you had a very timely question for us.
Yeah, my question is related to the situation right now. Like during the situation like in pandemic, what do you think the AI and smart city network can influence people's life or public health?
Yeah, I think it's very good question, because during the pandemic, I was in Dubai. So I was originally I was in China. When we had this the pandemic started. Then I saw maybe it's safe to go outside of China. So that's why I left China to travel in India and in Dubai. But after I landed in Dubai, we got quarantined there because the whole world is becoming a mess. So I think the whole pandemic actually changed a lot of things. I think one of the big things is we see more and more unmined situation, the demands much stronger. For example, one of our clients, the Qatar airline, in the airport, they bought a lot of robotics from us to do the sanitization there, because some of the environment is not good for people, human beings do, right? So you need the machines to do all the work and to help clean the environment and make people safe. And also we have a lot of devices provided to the people in the Middle East and all over the world, where you can remotely, you can check people's temperature, check your situation, and send alarms to the people. So I think this pandemic really promotes the technology. Some people, some of the people before, they were saying, oh, maybe it's unnecessary to spend money on the technology. But now people feel like this is a must. So I think in that way, the technology can help solving a lot of those issues.
Let's do one more from Gil. You worked at you've been working in AI. You had, I think, a question for Victor.
Yes, thank you. I must say that this is one of the most, I guess, visionary presentations that I've seen recently or at all. I mean, the company that I'm working for, I mean, we solve this very niche solution in the fashion retail industry. And this is, I mean, powering a whole city. And I mean, I think that it takes a lot of courage to innovate like that, and that brings a lot of risks with it as a company, but also as a community. We need to be brave to step into that innovative state. And I was wondering, so to this, what do you think are the major risks that come with it, and how can we mitigate those risks of AI-powered cities?
I think the major risk is, the technology, when it become common practice, usually starts very, very expensive. So we call 5 years ago, we see AI is a luxury product. Only in the big companies or rich companies can buy it, or the city like Shanghai can buy our products, because fundamentally it's very expensive, right? Some of the algorithms, some of the things. So I think one of the as a company as us, one of the risks is we spend billions of dollars and a lot of money on the research. So you have developed a lot of algorithms, a lot of products, but can you sell them? Can you really to put to the market? Can them when will the market accept them? So I think that's from the company side, it's a risk of investment and return, ROI. And I think from the city level is you have to adapt all the technology very cautiously, because some of the technology is not mature enough. But if you implement into some of the scenarios, you could be a very risky thing. So that's why you need to do it step by step and usually we start with a smaller area, like the one you see in our AI city, because it's a smaller place, right? It's like a kind of like a small town that you can inside there, if your robot stop in the middle of the road, it's okay, right? We can immediately send people to move it away. But if you put into a city like Beijing or Shanghai in the middle of the traffic, it's going to be a problem. So that's why I think that the risk for the government is they have to do things step by step and gradually to achieve the vision. So
Thank
Okay,
you.
so I have one more question before you wrap up. Thank you, Gil. Thank you, Victor. One of the things that we talk about a lot in the Academy is this notion of being a leader, and that means something different, I think, to everyone. Everyone has a different way they think about it. Would you just kind of share what do you think about when you think about leadership, and how do you, are you a leader, and how do you think about that concept?
I think I'm still learning to be a good leader. But you know, as I'm managing you know, over 1,000 people right now from all over the world, I think I do have some of the experiences. I think obviously, first of all, being a leader versus being a professional people is different. Before the you know, building terminals, I was a professional people, right? I work in investment bank. I work in a private equity side. All I need to know is I just be good at what I'm doing. So everything I'm doing is to make sure I'm successful. And but as a leader, I think the key is to make other people successful. So now from my side, I'm trying to coach and educate all of my people and help them. And when they grow, then they become successful. I'm a good leader. So I think that's one big difference of being a leader and also and as just professional people. I think another thing is as a CEO of company, you know, before when I'm doing investment or investment banking, I make a decision, you know, every month or every week. You know, after we will look at the project, look at the company, and do all the research and analyze and everything. Then finally we bring into investment committee, and we made one investment: invest or not, how much you invest, right? What's the terms? So. So all the decision making based on a lot of the data and logic thinking and a lot of work. As a CEO of a company, and especially a startup company, I'm making 100 decisions every day, right? So so you're constantly making decisions. So and you're a problem solver, because believe me, every minute will generate problems, right? So so it's something you never know, and you have never learned in only business school. But I think you learn the method how to solve those problems. So I think as a CEO, you are making decisions and solve problems, you know, every day. So I think that's a big difference. So yeah.
I think you raise a great point. It's a lot of decisions that you have to make, but then other people have to also be impacted by those, and so tremendous responsibility, right, in doing that. So I think that's a great way of thinking about that. I was going to ask, I have a few words before we close out. Aurora, do you want to say, I guess, something on behalf of our fellow scholars to help end tonight?
Yeah, sure.
Kurt,
I just want to say thank you for Victor coming to give us this very informational sharing. So although I didn't get the chance to ask a question, but I think Gil's question kind of covered mine. So yeah, I do feel that I learned a lot about how Terminus is reimagining smart city ecosystem using AI technology. And I was definitely really impressed by Victor's experience for sure, as a business student as well. So yeah, just thank you again for sharing with us. And also thank you for all the staffs from McDonnell International Academy for hosting this event.
Thank you, thank you. So Kurt, before we go, I have two more things I want to mention.
Yes.
So because you mentioned Gary is here, so I want to show you something. Just 1 second. Can you see the screen?
Ah, look at that. There's Gary, Jan Snow on the side there.
Yeah, I just want to let you see how young I look 20 years ago in your hand, how old I am. So this is yeah, from the school and Gary. So yeah, that's all the good memories I have. Yeah, thank you.
Well, that's awesome. Well, it's you've on one hand, right, come a long ways from that picture. On the other hand, I suspect you're the same guy who graduated from here, and which I think is probably a great grounding across your life. But even though you've made those transitions, so I know Gary will be really excited to see that, and will probably reach out to you on that. So again, I guess I just want to, as we run out of time here, personally thank you for, I know you have a busy day, and for coming on your morning here to share with us. We are really looking forward to having you back to campus so you can see our new business school building. That building you were in still is there. Students are still going there, but we have a couple more buildings, probably at least one more that's gone up for a business school building. But more importantly, I want to get you on campus to meet the latest group of students who are now in the shoes you were in then. And to be able to share that, I think will be, incredibly valuable. So, but in the meantime, thank you so much for sharing this. I think we're all inspired tonight. I'm a little scared also about what that future is going to look like, perhaps, of an AI city. But I know we're in good hands with people like you who are taking us there.
Hopefully the pandemic situation will get better. As I said, we have our the Expo project going on. It will be launched in October 1st next year. So I want to invite all of our students and alumni and faculties to, if you have an opportunity to go to Dubai to see the Expo, please contact me, and I can arrange everyone to check it out. We have a lot of VIP tickets I can use, first of all. And secondly, as I said, we have been working with all the international institutions globally, and also location-wise, we have Dubai, Beijing, Shanghai. So if any of our students or scholars are interested into knowing more about this, I'm more than happy to welcome them to join, to do an internship here, or just come here and check it out and talk with our research people or something. So
we will. I'm sure we'll definitely be in contact then with. You'll probably get a lot of emails from our students now who are ready to do that, either to see you in Dubai or to come do an internship there. And so we'll have one of our career service people from the Western Career Service you mentioned be in contact to be able to do that. So.
Thank you, everyone.
Well, to our audience who are out there, thank you for joining us either this morning or this evening for you. And we will look forward to seeing you again, Victor. I look forward to seeing you in person, I hope very soon.
Thank you. Have a good evening. See you. Take care.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.